Yes, guys. Yes, people. Welcome back to the channel. Big up to every single one of you that's locked in. Hit the like button, subscribe, all of that crap. You guys know exactly what to do as soon as you get into the stream. And yeah, it's been a very, very busy midweek in Europe. But it's time for the main event: Chelsea versus Heidenheim, Europa Conference League. Um, we're going to touch on everything regarding that fixture. Obviously, talk on everything over the last week of Chelsea as well. But it is good to be back after another W. We said we had better be back with a win. We got a win. And we had a very, very optimistic performance as well. We're going to touch on everything as we just said before. But yeah, shout out to the co-host as well. Big up, Kev, my guy. How's your week been?
What day are we on? We're on Wednesday. So far, so good, bro. So far, so good, bro. It's just the same old, didn't it? Really, just cracking on, doing my coaching, starting to build up my business. Really, bro. That's it. Apart from that, there's no bad news to Chelsea, so that's always positive. Another positive, obviously, having one of our best youth players coming back in, which we're going to talk about after. But all things to Chelsea, positive. We're third in the league. Hopefully we go and get a win on Thursday. That's all we ask.
Exactly that. Shout out to our sponsors as well. Big up to Omely. With Omely, it's time to get in the game. Omely brings fans together like never before and lets them take center stage. Whether you want to host a live show, jump in as a guest, listen in, or simply connect with other passionate supporters, Omely is the place where true football conversations happen. The more you engage, the more recognition you earn. So if you're ready to be a part of something bigger, download Omely today and let's bring football fans back home. Shout out to Omely, our sponsors. Big up to everybody that's locked in. And just touching on what you already hinted at before we bigged up the sponsors, Josh Ashin back with the first team squad for the Conference League game against Heidenheim. Now, Maresca's still said it hasn't really impacted any contract negotiations, but it should still be a positive indication.
I've seen that he's actually not in the squad. He's not actually in the squad.
Crap, really?
He's in his second day of training within the squad, but he hasn't been selected for the squad, which is going to travel to Germany, which would have been today.
Okay, so it's just back to first team training, but that's about it.
Back in, yeah. So
still some good indication, I guess.
Oh, mate, when he in pre-season, mate. I don't know if you watched the game against. I think it was Wrexham. Yes. Wrexham. And he had a blinder. Okay, he's playing against Wrexham, which are obviously a League One team, but he looked good. He looked really good down that right-hand side. He's everything that you need from a modern-day right-back. He's quick.
I just remember the Tottenham game. Do you remember we came on against Spurs at home and he was just like bossed it for the remaining 15 minutes?
He's good. We're in a similar scenario to the guy what played for Brighton. We will let it go. Lamperty. Very similar scenario where we've got James and another right back, but obviously we let Lamperty go because there wasn't space for him. But now we've reached James, obviously sustaining another injury. I believe that's the reason why they've obviously gone to him and said, look, this is where we're at now. James is going to be out for a bit. We've already got one fit right back. You're going to get plenty of game time. So they've obviously negotiated some way for him to be integrated back into the fold. And that's why he's back. So hopefully he can prove himself within training, and we see a lot more of him going forward because there's going to be game time. You said it last week. You literally said it last week. Pong's got a clear pathway into this first team if we can get him back. And a few days later, he's back. So I believe the situation with James has made it a lot more clear with Pong.
Yeah, because I've seen Maresca hint as well about Reece James in the press conference. He said the best thing we can do is to just not talk too much about him. The fact that we're already talking about just taking the spotlight off him already hints that he's probably going to be out for a lot longer than what they're trying to let out, which I guess is a shame, but we can only do what Maresca's saying in that situation and just not even really focus too much on it. Like, we've been in this situation enough times where I'm just used to it. At least now we have the options. We have Gusto, we have Pong as well. Like, we're in the first steps of hopefully reintegrating him back into the squad. Might see him get some minutes over the next few games. We might. It's all still speculative, but I guess it's good to see him back within the fold at least. Going back to the Leicester-Chelsea game, though, another goal for Nicholas Jackson. Seems to be making a habit of it, especially away from home. I've come to I made the statement that he's the second best striker in the league in the form that he's had this season. How are you feeling about that?
100%. Like I said, form and stats. Sometimes you don't just go off what a player does, because last season, arguably, you could have said the same thing, because he was doing all the work off the ball and on the ball for me to say he's a top striker, but the goals wasn't there. But now he's obviously added the goals to all the movement and all the work. The stats don't lie, and he's up there with the best in the Europe at the moment, in the best and the best in Prem. So definitely second best striker in the Prem. When you think about it though, who else? Watkins could probably have a sniff around that marker. But
Watkins and Isak on ability, but like Isak's only just come back into form.
yeah.
I can't really say too much about Ollie Watkins, but Villa as a whole haven't been in good form recently. They haven't won their last 4 league games.
Yeah. That's it.
Haaland's just getting off the start of the season, because he had a mad start, and now he's had 2 goals since the Arsenal game.
Yep, and that's been for Stubbs and right for him, shouting at players saying stay humble, and since then Man City's form's gone like that, and so has Haaland's. So you could probably say Jackson is probably the best striker in the Prem right now. And it's not, I am a realist. I don't like to gas things up, and I don't like to go in the way. But when you look at the way he's playing and what he's doing for this team and the goals that he's getting and the form that he's carried from last season to this season, when you look at, he was a 1 in 3, 1 in 4 last season. Now he's only getting 2 or 3 chances and he's burying 1 or 2. So he's clearly come on with his finishing. He's got to be up there, the first or second best player in the Prem, and that's not us overrating him. That's just going off stats and going off what we see on a weekly basis with that player.
Yeah, and it's good that we can even have these conversations with him. It shows the level that he's at, and with next season and the summer, like there's been links to Victor Gyökeres, and like there's been hints about us potentially signing him in January and bringing him back. How would you feel about that situation? Because to me, like adding that as another layer of competition with Nicholas Jackson, I think is the one thing that could take him to an even higher level. Because like, you look at Didier Drogba, for example, it took bringing in Shevchenko for him to start clicking.
Yeah, Didier Drogba had Anelka, had Shevchenko, had Crespo, had Johnson, there was always 3 or 4 strikers at Chelsea at that time, and they all used to get good game time and all used to get goals. So there's no difference in them. I feel like you have to have 2 top strikers in your team anyway, because think about it. If Jackson gets injured, who's going to carry the team then? We can't rely on Nkunku to play that role, because he's not a lone striker. Nkunku is a false number 9 at best. He's not an out-and-out goal scorer. So if Gyökeres or whoever we're going to get, it only boosts Jackson's form. It gives him a kick up the arse, say, you know what? I've got to stay playing now. I've got to be the best. Every opportunity that I get, every single game that I get, I'm going to score. And that's going to keep the other striker out. And that's it. Whoever he comes and performs and scores, starts in that team. So it's only going to push Jackson and further. And also with Jackson, he doesn't only start through the middle. He can also start on the left as well. So he's versatile because he can play left wing and centre forward. So who knows? He could have a Jackson playing with the Gyökeres in the same team. It's never known. So it's a good headache to have. And if we can get it over the line, why not? I just feel like we all said that we still need a number 9, and Gyökeres, for me right now, is top 3 strikers in the world.
I think for me now, I'm just a bit more easier about the option that we go for. Like you asked me last summer, I wouldn't have really wanted any like developing striker like a Duran or a Nomrodion, even though they're doing well this season. In the summer, we wouldn't have really wanted to take that risk. Now I'd be pretty okay with it. Not just based off Jackson's development this season, but also just both of them have had really good seasons. So even though it looked like a pretty mad decision to go for, it would have been brilliant for us with the way that they've developed. So if they see another gem, go for it. Go for it. Like you could have another understudy or something, or have someone who's already proven themselves. But we already have Nicholas Jackson, so I feel secure in that position anyway. It's just about adding some bulk to it. Yeah.
It's just like I said, you need 2 strikers, and obviously we've got this Mark Greehey, threats of him going on loan in the January. he's one for the future. He's not going to come in if Jackson gets injured and get you the goals that you need. So we do need more competition up there. With Sami Amiradian, I feel like Porto was the best move for him. I don't feel like Chelsea. I think it would have been similar to a Mark Guehi situation where he's not going to get the minutes to develop him. I feel like if you go for a guy Corez,
I don't
it's
blame
totally
you for
different.
thinking that, to be honest. I hear it.
Yeah. It's different with him because he's proven in the Champions League. He's proven in the Portuguese league. He's also proven in England. Okay, in the Championship of Coventry, but he was banging in goals from there. So you bring him in, he's more of a proven player to go with Jackson rather than bringing in an unproven player, which is not going to get any minutes. And when he does get minutes, it's going to be limited. So basically, you're not progressing his development, let's say. So I feel we need to go for
Because we won't even have Conference League to like fall back on next season.
There you go. So I just feel like we need proven.
No, I hear it. Like either way, I'll be satisfied. But I understand your point in that too. I get. Just wanted to touch on a few players who had much more improved performances from what we've seen. João Felix and Badiashile. Both of them looked really re-energized against Leicester City. Felix had much better end product. I felt like with Badiashile, like we were relying on him a lot more to like make good line breaking passes, and he was doing it sensationally well. I don't think he misplaced one all game. Both of them seem to be much better. I know it's only one game. I know it's also only against Leicester, so we can't say too much. But I think, especially in Badiashile's case, it's just good to know that that player is still there. Because I've seen this man stink out Conference League games. It's like, okay, cool. 22-23 wasn't just a mad purple patch. You're still that player. We just need to get him back to a more consistent standard.
Leicester give him all the time and day for him to play those line breaking passes. Let's be real. They didn't exactly press him or put him under any pressure. And same with Liverpool. When he came off the bench against Liverpool wasn't pressing us. Liverpool was sitting in shape and Leicester was doing the same thing. So there was a lot of time for Badiashile to execute his passes. And we all know he's a good passer of the ball through the line.
I know, we've seen him mess up in the Conference League in the same
I just want to see him play against a pressing team, which is going to put him under pressure. And that's where Badiashile usually flops. So all this talk about Badiashile being back, come on, man, let's be real, man.
No, one game in it. It's just nice to see it.
I've seen a couple of people saying Badi. No, he's not.
Oh, they're saying he's back.
I've seen a couple of men saying. I've seen it. I've seen a couple of things saying. I flick from my Instagram and I see Badiashile is back in this with all his stats, 81% passing accuracy, all this crap. I just thought, you know what, he's to the own, but he's got a long way to be back in my eyes. From some of the performance I've seen, especially in pre-season, where he literally let a goal against Real Madrid roll into the back of net, which he could have put an extra yard in to get that ball. So he's got a lot to prove himself. But on the flip side, it is positive that he's starting to come back into some form. With Felix, he was good. Felix was good, man. The way we set up, it was difficult for Leicester to pick him up because there was no clear attacking midfielder. Felix was 1 minute coming inside and he was attacking midfielder, then he was going out wide, and then Enzo was picking up that position and dropping off. So NDD and the over defensive midfielder for Leicester, they know who to pick up. So every time Felix picked the ball up on the half turn, no one was either with him. So he was turning, he was megsing players. It was good. It was really good. But like you said a minute ago, he's playing against Leicester, so let's see him play against a better opposition in that way, and we can make a more of a statement on a performance then.
Speaking of, do you think Badiashile starts tomorrow? Because now Gusto's back training. I think Maresca said he should be ready for Sunday. Somebody drops out at 11, and it was only Fofana going back to right back in replacement of him. So I could see him dropping back out for Villa, which would probably put him in line to start tomorrow.
Yeah, so let's have a look at that squad there. The only 5 available defenders you've got is the Sassy, Tosin, Badiashile, Colwell, and Viega.
Let me get this squad up.
It's looking like Viega left back, Badiashile left centre back, Tosin right centre back, Disasi right back. That's what it's looking like to me.
So yeah, say that again. Disasi, Tosin, Badiashile, Vega, basically.
Colwell on the
Yeah,
bench.
yeah, I could see that.
Mm.
I mean, I would like to see Sanchez start this one and Jorgensen get Sunday, but it's not going to happen.
Jorgensen.
Yeah,
And then
Jorgensen will
in
start.
midfield, I'd go with 3. It'd be Dewsbury Hall, Chukwuemeka, and Kasadi. And then the 3 up front, Felix, Nkunku, and Mudryk.
Yeah, Chukwuemeka's got to get a start in this
Yeah,
one.
100%.
Like, just look at the midfield options. Cassidy, I do think starts. The 3 you mentioned should be the 3 that we see get utilized. Probably just Cassidy playing the deepest role. If it's anything other than that, then boy, he must have done something to Maresca.
It's a strong team. Yeah, there must be some kind of fallout. For him to even be in the squad shows there's something, because he hasn't even been in the squad all season, hasn't he? So that's
No, he's been in the squad. He's just struggled to get minutes.
Yeah.
He always comes on late second half.
Yeah, step in the right direction, and hopefully he starts. But only concern for me is that the right back situation with Disasi. Obviously, if the Heidenheim, whatever they're called,
Heidenheim.
I've got to tell you, I think
Conference League in a nutshell.
Yeah, someone said to me, Hayden, I thought there was Dutch. It sounds a bit like a Dutch team, doesn't it? I was just like,
bro, their most high-profile player is some Bayern loanee, like
who?
Max Weifer or something like that. I think that's their most high-profile player. No, Paul Wanner. That's his name, Paul Wanner.
Yeah. I was trying to do my homework on them, so I looked for the squad. All I know is that they're in poor form. The 15th place, they've won 1 in 6, I think. I was trying to do my homework on them to figure out what their key players are and their danger man. I couldn't even see one player that I even know.
Yeah,
so we cannot make hard work of this. But I'm sure they'll have a game plan. If you're any manager for any team, doesn't matter what standard you are, you have to identify the weakness of any team. So obviously, if you got Disasi playing right back, you're going to say to your left winger and left back, just double up on that side. Bring Disasi as far out as possible, because you all know on a 1-on-1 that guy cannot turn and recover quick enough to get the ball. So that's the only weakness in that squad for me. But apart from that, man, I can see this being an easy win for Chelsea.
I could see. I'm not sure with João Felix, just because we might end up using him again. But Sancho's barely had minutes, so I could see him start this one. Mudryk, it's just Mudryk, and Nkunku and Hiu, I'd guess. I think that'll be the attacking. I think that'll be the attack that we'd see for that game. And yeah, just go and win. Don't really know what else to say other than that. What do you think the score prediction's gonna be then? Do you think it's just gonna be like a 3-goal thing, or are we gonna know them? It's a beauty that we can even talk about like this. This is what I love about the Conference League. Greatest side mission we could ever have.
There's a goal in it for them. It's going to be off their left side. It's going to be a ball in from that side, because there's actually, we all know he's right back defending against any team is criminal. So I can see them getting a goal. I could see us getting 3 or 4. I could see it being 3-1 Chelsea. I'd like to say 4, but 3-1, very comfortable win. Get back on the playing arm and let's prepare for Sunday against Villa.
Fairs. I'm just going to go 4-0.
4-0.
Just stand at 4-0, keep it stepping. And no injuries, please. No injuries, God willing. But yeah, big up to every single one of you that's locked in. Hit the like button, subscribe, all of that crap. And we will see you for the next one. Should be after another win. Up the Chelsea.